Hello. Now, in this video, what I want to talk about is how you can begin to axe. I call it axe the anxiety, axe your anxiety. And what I want to talk about are three strategies that you can use immediately and three actions to take immediately to help you begin to desensitize the intensity of your anxiety, using the strategies that I've used for many years with clients, over 20 years now, supporting them to replace anxiety with confidence. My approach of helping people to let go of anxiety so they can actually start living again. It's all right, the lights in my face there. I'm not going to start recording again. There you go. Is one of the key reasons is that they have lost a large degree of self-confidence, and it's been replaced by an intensity of anxiety. So, for example, if someone has an anxiety state when they're in social situations, social anxiety, which is often quite common, often what I've found is the reason for that is that their confidence has diminished to such a degree that they've allowed the anxiety in, and it's not their fault. The anxiety has come in, and then what tends to happen as time goes on, and you can probably relate to this, is people start to become anxious about being anxious in that specific situation, and others, of course. So I talk to you in the capacity of a clinical hypnotherapist and coach. So here we go. Three things that I want to encourage you to take on board in this video. Don't forget, by the way, that it is important that you also talk to your GP and take other advice from them, as well as listening to me gabble on in this video as well. All right, so please check with your GP. Now, the first thing to say in terms of what do you do is, if it's for certain situations, because if it's like a situational anxiety, the one thing that I want to encourage you to do is start to accept fallibility. In other words, start to accept that it's okay not to be perfect. Because when people are anxious, often they're anxious because they have this I must be perfect kind of script, if you like, going through their mind. And all I can do through the screen and the power of this video to you is send my encouragement to begin to accept that perfection really does not exist, okay? And the more that you put an emphasis on being perfect, the more that you are going to absolutely feel anxious, all right? So what I want you to do is just take a step back. Give yourself permission to absolutely be fallible. It's okay. What's weird though, weird, maybe a bit over the top drama there, but what will happen is if you begin to accept fallibility, you will actually do better. Your intensity of anxiety will reduce. The second thing I want you to do, I encourage you to do, is do what I call walkie-talkie. And what this means is you don't talk out loud, of course, but you mentally have conversations with yourself. So you mentally are telling yourself having an empowering conversation in your head, rather than that conversation that often we have as human beings in our head that basically says we're pretty crap, we're worthless, and everyone else is great but us. So what I want you to do, and this is not about encouraging you to become arrogant or anything like that, but mentally is to change the story in your mind that you're telling yourself. Now, this can be accelerated using clinical hypnosis. So if you, for example, are thinking to yourself, actually, that's what I need to do, consider contacting a hypnotherapist local to you, and discuss it with them. Obviously, make sure that whoever you work with in the end, that you choose the right person for you. But walkie-talkie is important. The conversation we have with ourselves comes through in terms of how we feel and then how we behave. So the one thing I want to encourage you to do is to begin to modify, change, and edit the conversation you have in your mind, so that you're moving from a disempowering mind state to something that is much, much more empowering for you, okay? And then the third thing, which needs to be done with care, is usually when I've worked with a client, for example, and I've done a series of hypnosis sessions with them, is I then encourage them to have what we call gradual exposure. Now, what this means is once you've begun to empower your mind more, what you begin to do is take yourself into situations very slowly. Okay, so you start small, into those situations that once made you feel very uncomfortable and anxious. But the key here is to take your time. Start with something really small and do it when you're ready. Now, when you go into that situation and you feel that kind of ouch factor, okay, just allow it to pass, okay? And at the same time in your mind, be telling yourself how well you're doing. Kind of be the champion of your own mind as you're in that situation. When you leave that situation, what's important is you reward and mentally celebrate, mentally throwing a party in your head and also rewarding yourself in an appropriate way, whatever that may be. So in this video, I wanted to share with you 3 things. Now, what I want you to do as well, of course, is to make sure that you click the like button and also subscribe to this channel, which I should have said at the start. My social media person will be very cross with me, but I'm not going to record it again because I can't be arsed, guys. Do you know what I mean? Backwards and forwards. So, and then I think I can add a 4th one actually, which is make sure you laugh more. Do you know laughter is just such a medicine in its own right, in my opinion. And doing that, even though at times it can be difficult, and I totally get it, humor really does diffuse. On that note, please leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. If you have any questions, please pop them down below. Okay, on that note, you take care. Bye for now.